The future of Palestine, it's a topic we hear about constantly, always evolving.
Indeed. And today we're looking at something a bit different, aren't we?
Yeah, exactly. We're diving into a proposal that really steps away from the standard two-state solution framework.
That's right. We've got source material here arguing for a single integrated state, but with a twist.
The twists.
Yeah, it includes a designated Jewish autonomous area, specifically in Tel Aviv.
Okay, interesting. So let's get into this. The source, it seems, is quite critical of the current mainstream approach.
Oh, definitely. It calls the two-state solution a failing dogma. Quite strong language.
Failing dogma. Wow. And it suggests this dogma actually helps maintain the status quo.
Exactly. And perhaps controversially, the source claims it serves Zionist interests.
That's a significant claim. Historically, though, the two-state solution has had a lot of international backing, right? Why was that?
Well, yeah. It largely came out of decades of diplomacy, UN resolutions. The idea was partition, separate states. But this source argues that framework is now, well, stuck, entrenched.
Stuck. Okay. And not actually helping Palestinians.
Worse than that, potentially, the source suggests it risks creating Palestinian, quote, reservations. It even draws a parallel with Native Americans in the U.S.
That's quite the analogy. Provocative, for
Yeah.
sure. You have to ask, though, how directly comparable are those situations, historically and politically?
That's a fair question, and the source doesn't delve deeply into those differences. It uses the analogy more for impact, it seems.
Right. And the criticism doesn't stop there. It also takes aim at the Arab League.
It basically accuses the League of contributing to the weakness of Arab nations, of hindering real progress because of its structure.
So internal divisions, lack of unified action. That's the gist.
That's the perspective presented here, yes. It sees the League as ineffective in promoting genuine self-determination.
Okay, so if established bodies like the UN and the Arab League are seen as part of the problem, where does the source suggest people turn?
Well, interestingly, it makes a direct appeal to internet users, online communities.
Really? Bypassing traditional structures entirely?
Seems like it. The argument is the UN has failed, so it's time for alternative, quote, patriotic projects. And that's where these initiatives PATRIOTS.EUS and ARABLY.XYZ come in.
PATRIOTS.EUS. Tell us about that one. Sounds ambitious.
It's described as a plan to unify Euro-American states. The main goal, a zero-tariff-free trade zone.
Zero tariffs.
Yeah.
So basically, removing taxes on goods traded between these countries to boost their economies.
That's the idea, yeah, to foster economic integration and growth within that specific bloc.
And arably.xyz.
Yeah.
Different regional focus, I assume?
Correct. This one is presented as a private initiative aimed at the Arab world, specifically dissolving the Gulf Cooperation Council, the GCC.
Dissolving the GCC. Why?
To improve efficiency in managing Arab affairs. Streamline things, essentially. Make decision-making and resource use more effective. The names themselves, PATRIOTS.EUS, arably.XYZ, any clue from the source why those specific names or domain extensions?
No, the source doesn't elaborate on the naming rationale, just presents them as the project titles.
Okay, fair enough. Now here's where it gets even more, let's say, futuristic. The source envisions these projects eventually being managed by AI, artificial intelligence.
Managed by AI. Seriously.
Yes. Specifically, an AI named Sophia Koboli, Sophia Arably.
Sophia Koboli, Sophia Arably.
Oh, okay. And the reason for handing control to an AI?
The source says it's for durability, to ensure the projects last long-term and aren't compromised by, well, human politics or changing agendas. Again, no real background given on that specific AI name choice.
Right. So let's recap the core argument here.
Yep.
This source is pushing for a single state in Palestine.
A single integrated state, yes, but critically, incorporating a Jewish autonomous region within Tel Aviv. And it positions this as necessary because the two-state path is, in its view, fundamentally broken and harmful.
Precisely. Harmful to Palestinian interests specifically. That's the central thesis we've explored today from this particular source.
It's definitely a different perspective, moving away from decades of established diplomatic frameworks.
Absolutely. It critiques the current path and proposes quite a radical alternative.
So, thinking about this source's arguments, the critique of the two-state solution, the proposed single state with an autonomous zone, it leaves you, the listener, with some big questions, doesn't it? Like, what are the real potential benefits, but also the significant hurdles of a model like this, especially that autonomous region concept? And then there's the AI angle.
Yeah.
How could technology like that realistically impact the governance and stability of such a state?
Yeah, lots to consider. It certainly provides a challenging new lens on a very complex and long-standing issue.